Have you ever feel like you and your partners and your spouse keep having this agreement and conflicts over how to discipline your children, right? Believe it or not, this is a very popular conflict issues in parenting, that partners have different parenting styles and how they could bring together their parenting style to do what's best for the children. So today, I will talk to you about the 4 different kinds of parenting styles and how you could work with your partners if you have 2 different parenting style preferences. Hi, my name is Dr. Anle, and I am a certified life and parenting coach. I have worked with many individuals and couples on improving their parenting skills and also their relationship skill, because it is a teamwork effort to raise healthy, happy, adjusted children. Let's dive in. The 4 different kinds of parenting styles that most people would fall into. We usually have a preferred style, right? So the first one is authoritarian, which means you emphasize more on strict rules and obedience. The second kind is permissive. It usually means you allow children more freedom with minimal structures or boundaries. And the third one is the uninvolved style, where you provide limited interactions or guidance. So children are pretty much left on their own. And then the fourth one is authoritative, which means usually a balance of rules and loving kindness, focusing on both structures and empathy. This is the style that most experts would say is the healthiest for children. Depending on your personality, your life experiences, and your family of origins, you might develop a preference for a certain style. And then you marry your partner who have a completely different lifestyle and a different background in childhood, different personality. And so obviously it's very likely that they might have a different parenting style when you start growing the families and having children together. The solution to this is actually for the 2 of you behind the scene to work together collaboratively to navigate your differences, and together as a team presenting a parenting style that's as close to the authoritative style as much as possible. And how do you do that? First, when I work with couple like this, I want to talk about their communications, their relationship dynamics. Do they have a healthy dynamic to be able to have this kind of conversation? If they do, then we talk about values and goals, right? We both want what's best for our children. What does that look like, actually? And some might say, compassion is most important for me. And the other one might say, work ethic is important to me. This is where you just list it all out and talk about these things and why it's important to you and how you could work together to help your kids develop these core values that you both agree on. So that's the first step, is to have this conversation, to have the shared values and goals as a couple. And then you have to have open communications and conflict resolution strategies to make sure that you talk about your differences regularly and early, right? Often and early. If you notice that, hey, there's some tension regarding mealtime, how to feed them, what to feed them, then let's put it on the agenda to talk about it weekly, right? Have a weekly couple meetings where you talk about these things that you're concerned about. And you said, I'm concerned about this. I wonder if we could talk about some solutions for this. So just like any other conflicts, we use I statement, we ask for inputs, and we ask for solutions together. And then respecting the different strengths in parenting styles. And this is the part where it's hard for a lot of couples because obviously we believe in what we believe in and we have certain feelings and opinions about it. But for the team to be successful, it has to be somewhat of a win situation. But also to recognize that, hey, my partners bring in some strengths that I might benefit from. My partner is very playful and he's very patient and he's really calm with the kids. Whereas I'm more like very warm, very emotional. I hold battery very well, but I also tend to be hot-tempered sometimes. So we talk about differences and say, hey, you want to be more strict and I want the kids to learn to advocate for themselves. How can we balance between boundaries, responsibilities, and self-advocacy for the kids? When we talk in that term, we talk about finding solutions and doing what's best for our children. And the first thing we have to do is to acknowledge each other's strengths and acknowledge where each other is coming from. Not to judge each other, not to say you're wrong, I'm right. Even if you win in that situation, nobody wins because as a team, as a couple, the more tensions and frictions you have within yourself, the less effective your parenting will going to be. All right, so make sure that you have conversation by respecting different strengths in different parenting styles. And then have a plan to handle conflicts in front of the kids. It's going to happen, right? You are different people. You will always have conflicts. And parenting is a very emotionally charged responsibility. So sometimes you need to talk about these things beforehand, ideally. But if it's not, then during the moment, you could say, I'm getting really frustrated. Can we not do this right now? So talk about how to take a pause, how to take a time out as parents and revisit this later that night instead of going at it in front of the kids and yelling at each other. It's not healthy for anybody. It's not good for the relationship between parents. It's very scary for little kids to see that. So you could say, hey, mom and dad have some discussion we need to have later, okay? We will come back to you on this decision. You don't have to do anything in the moment right away. Very few things in life require you to take actions right away in an emergency context. No, you could always say, hey, we'll think about it. Let us talk about it and then we'll come back to you on this. And then you two come back together. You could also, if your children are old enough to participate in the problem-solving conversation, you could also incorporate their input into these problems so both parents could hear what the children prefer to do. Then that's why it's not just, this is my way, this is your way. And what about the children? What about the child? What do they want to do? These things will take practice. It's so much easier to just flip your lid in the moment and just have the fight and say who's right, who's wrong, because it makes us feel more in control and more powerful. But in the long run, it will erode the connections you have with your partner and your children. It's much better to be more strategic and intentional about how to handle these differences behind the scenes so that in front of the children, you present a united front. You show respect for each other. You navigate your differences in a way that's constructive. That part of it is also learning to managing stress and burnout, because we all know that we are not our best selves when we are stressed and burnout, when we have too many things to do and not enough sleep, not enough self-care. So as a couple, what you do outside of parenting is also very important, how you will show up together in parenting. So that's why when I work with couple, I usually observe to see what the dynamic between them. Some couples are very stressed because of the kids' behavior, But the way they talk to each other, the way they listen to each other, I know that they have a good dynamic. And we could go ahead with strategies on how to get you more care, more support, how to use these techniques. But if the couple seem to not be able to talk and listen to each other, then I would take a step back and really work on their communication skill, work on how you could talk about conflicts and differences in a more respectful and constructive way. Okay, so managing stress and burnout as a couple is real. It's very real. We are living in such a stressful environment. It's good for us to have our partner as someone we could confide in and feel supportive in. And then that will show up in our parenting relationship too. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. And if you have more questions about how to implement some of these strategies in your own relationship, please feel free to drop your comment below or email me. I'm very open to helping individuals and couples to work through these things on a personalized, customized basis. All right, everyone, thanks for watching and good luck.